blue. Wait around for Mother Nature. What are we supposed to do when the moment passes by, when your tears are almost dry? We might learn to live again.
Nature in the Hoof. Moonquake. Should Nature in the Hoof really consider writing about the moon at all? Well, I looked it up, and the word nature refers to the natural, physical, material world or universe. So here we go. Sadly, one of the biggest reasons mankind wanted to get the moon in the first place was because there was a great race between two powers, Russia and America. They both saw it as a very strategic place, and the Americans wanted to detonate a nuclear device there in the 50s. This was known as Project A119, but it was the Russians who got closest first. In 1959, the Luna 1 passed within a mere 5,995 kilometres of the moon's surface before going on to orbit the sun. Man didn't get there in person until 1969, when Neil Armstrong uttered those slightly misquoted words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." It isn't properly heard in the recordings of the time, but Armstrong states he actually said, "one small step for a man." Only 11 other men have stood on the moon's dusty surface since then. Perhaps the next person to set foot there will be a woman. The moon, about the size of Australia, was created around the same time as the Earth, about 4.6 billion years ago. It's now thought to be part of our planet, knocked out into orbit after some cataclysmic collision. It's no atmosphere, so you wouldn't be able to hear this podcast up there. It's also thought to have a molten core, like the Earth. It's 384,000 kilometres away from Earth, but it's actually slipping further away year by year by a margin of about 3.8 centimetres. Over time, it may have less of a pull in our oceans, and as a result, our tides may become less extreme. Earth also has a gravitational effect on the moon, causing moonquakes below its surface. These in turn have led to ruptures and cracks. So in some ways, we are still connected to our brightest satellite. We of course see the moon differently all the time, as sunlight strikes it from afar. But it's a bit like, I'm trying to think how to explain this, it's a bit like holding somebody's face towards you while you stand on a revolving chair with a strong light blasting from behind. You'd both have to stand in that chair, by the way. You'll only ever see the person's face, but the amount of light on the face will grow and reduce depending on the angle. We never get to see the dark side of the moon, in light or shade. The stages of the moon are as follows: new moon, waxing crescent; first quarter, waxing gibbous; full moon, and then as it gets smaller again, waning gibbous; last quarter, and waning crescent. I saw the Yule moon this year, with a full rainbow halo. That rainbow effect was caused by ice crystals high up in some wispy cirrus clouds, but it gave the moon a truly mysterious aura. People through time have also looked up and wondered at the moon. Full moon fever is often blamed for all sorts of happenings, from sleepwalking to unusual behaviour, or even people transforming into werewolves. The Roman goddess of the moon, Luna, is said to ride a silver chariot across the sky every night. And the words lunatic and lunacy both derive from her name. Get this, in the 1700s, if you were tried for murder in England and it happened on a full moon, you could plead for a more lenient sentence on the grounds of lunacy. Some people even think there are aliens on the moon. Even now, in these COVID-19 days, there are all sorts of conspiracy theories out there. One of the most prominent extollers of such beliefs was a man who lived about 160 years ago. A British composer and astronomer, he wrote of complex constructions and stunning cities on the moon. My favourite fantasy on this topic is the movie First Men on the Moon, released in 1964. Lionel Jeffries is brilliant in it as a nutty professor who finds a giant ant-like colony under the moon's surface. Many civilizations think the moon controls fertility, perhaps as a result of the menstrual cycle matching up in days with the moon's own cycle. This may explain why many peoples of the past portrayed their moon deity as female. The Greeks had Selene, who became Artemis, while the Romans had Luna, who became Diana. But the link to our moon hasn't really gone away at all. It's important and still prevalent in some of our current religions. Christians, for example, celebrate Easter Sunday on the Sunday after the first full moon that follows the spring equinox, while the Jewish faith always has the Passover on a full moon. Even the Hindu religion has its festival of lights, Diwali, on the new moon after the sun enters Libra. Many animals and birds are also thought to be influenced by the moon. Apart from the obvious ebb and flow of the tides and their effect on shore life, many birds are said to use the moon for migration. Other animals time their reproduction to coincide with different phases of the moon. Dung beetles have been shown to use the polarising moonlight to roll their precious dung balls in straight lines. How about this one to finish up with? A species of Mediterranean plant, the joint pine, produces liquid that reflects moonlight to lure insects. It's been shown that these natural little mirror balls can increase the uptake of pollen in these plants. Ingenious. So, until next time, well, take care, stay safe, and ciao for now.
Haven't really got a clue. Waiting around for Mother Nature. What are we supposed to do?